Morning. All right, so this is the preview of tonight's games. There's 4 games on today that are matinee games, and I've already previewed them in a video I did yesterday. That being said, these are, of course, the last games before I update Mr. Power Rankings board, and then we get into the Power Rankings tonight. Which means nothing but agreement and flowers after tonight. First up, Boston and Vancouver. So here's the big one. I'm going to be there. Depending on how the game goes, what does or doesn't happen, I may end up doing a review on my phone on my way home from the game. So it's possible I'll only have 8 games to review after the game, because I may already have that one review on my phone. Boston's 4-2-1 and Vancouver's 4-3. So there's a potential for Vancouver to be 5-3 by the end of the night. I'm going to wear my Vancouver jersey to the game tonight because why not? It's a Vancouver game. It's always tough watching them against each other because I like both. I've always cheered for both. I remember back in the day, and it has to be back in the day because these don't happen anymore. Anytime Boston and Vancouver tied each other, I was happy. I was like, good. They get a tie. Good. Anyways, on the Boston side of things, Bergeron, 6 goals and 7 assists. He's been fantastic. Marchand, 2 goals and 10 assists. Pasternak, 8 goals and 3 assists. Now I'm seeing articles comparing him to Yager. Might be a little early. Krejci, a goal and 5 assists. McAvoy, a goal and 5 assists. Grzelcyk, 3 assists. Chara and Kuraly both with a goal and an assist. On the Vancouver side of things, scoring-wise, Peterson still at the top with 5 goals and 3 assists. Then Bo Horvat, 4 goals and an assist. Berchi, 2 goals and 3 assists. Edler with 5 assists. Besser, 2 goals and 2 assists. They need him to really pick it up. Sutter, 2 goals and an assist. Marcus Granlund, a goal and 2 assists. And Tanev with 3 assists. When you look at special teams, Boston 26.3% on the power play. Vancouver's 23.8% on the power play. We'll call that a saw-off this early in the season. Penalty kill, Boston 72.7%. Vancouver 82.1%. I don't know how long it stays up without Jay Beagle. But for right now, anyways, Vancouver special teams look good. Goaltending. To my knowledge, let me just do a quick double check on whether or not these goalies have been confirmed at all. Okay, so no confirmation on the goalies in the Boston-Vancouver game. Rask has a 4.08 goals against, 875 save percentage. Halak, a 1.69 goals against, and a 939 save percentage. My guess is Rask will play. Markstrom, a 4.03 goals against, 883 save percentage. I'd be very surprised if he's not in net. Nilsson has a 2.25 goals against and a 925 save percentage. But the cracks were showing in that Winnipeg game, so you might as well throw Markstrom into this game. So, honestly, I expect a good game both ways. I kind of expect Boston to win this one, but they're both very unpredictable early in the season, and your guess is as good as mine. Islanders. They're 3-3, coming off that huge 7-2 win in LA. They're in against the San Jose Sharks, who are 3-1, coming off of their impressive win over Buffalo. So both teams feeling pretty good about themselves right now, whereas a couple games ago they weren't. Barzal, a goal and 6 assists for the Islanders. Filppula with 4 goals and 2 assists. Kind of a revelation early in the season for them. Cizikas, 3 goals and 2 assists. Bailey, 2 goals and 3 assists. Mayfield, a goal and 4 assists. Andrew Ladd with 2 goals and 2 assists. Lee, 2 goals and an assist. And Komarov with a goal and 2 assists. On the San Jose side of things, Evander Kane has 4 goals and 3 assists. Couture, 4 goals and 2 assists. LeBanc with a goal and 5 assists. Brent Burns has 6 assists. No goals yet for him, though. 3 goals and 2 assists for Meyer. 4 goals for Pavelski. 2 goals, 2 assists for Donskoy. And 4 assists for Erik Karlsson. It's interesting on the Islanders side of things because I keep, hearing people ask questions about Eberle and talk about Eberle, but he really hasn't been that visible so far for the Islanders. And they need that to be the case if they're going to get above 500 and start making any noise. Special teams, the Islanders are running at 21% on the power play. 21.1 to be exact. And San Jose, 17.8%. But San Jose's has been getting better. A penalty kill. Islanders 76.5%. San Jose 81.8%. Kind of a saw-off there. Again, it's early in the season, so we try not to get too excited about this. But the numbers put together, it's 99.6 for San Jose and 97.6 for the Islanders. So similar. It's going to come down to 5-on-5 play, maybe. Depending, of course, then you've got, how many penalties is a team going to take. So San Jose has to be smart, stay out of the box, and keep the best players for the Islanders on the bench as much as possible. Because the Islanders are more dangerous than what they get credit for. Greiss in net, likely, I would imagine, but we'll see. They haven't confirmed anything yet. Greiss has a 2.60 goals against and a 918 save percentage. Robin Leonard, 2.10 goals against, 935 save percentage. If anybody's wondering about why there's orange on the board, there's orange on the board because I needed a marker that was fine enough that I could be able to read it. The thing with the Expo markers is very quickly they write very wide, which is fine if you're writing big, but I'm always writing small. And fine tip markers tend to run out fast. So, anyways. First world problems. But yeah, between Leonard and Greiss, goaltending has not been a problem for the Islanders. Not so far. On the San Jose side of things, Aaron Dell, 2.49 goals against, 917 save percentage. Martin Jones is getting his stats back in line, 2.63 goals against, and an 896 save percentage. So, for San Jose fans, things are starting to look up, but they are for Islander fans too. So, this should be a fun game. I'm going to miss it. I'm going to be at that one. So, you guys are going to have to let me know how that one goes. Anaheim. So, the Anaheim Ducks are 5-1-1. They're in against the Vegas Golden Knights, who are 3-4. And Vegas is looking to get back to 500. And that would be the first time that's happened since the second game of the season. So it's been a couple weeks below 500. And I would imagine they'll come out pretty strong that first 10 minutes. And the Ducks are going to have to withstand that. On the Ducks side of things for scoring, Silverberg still leads the way, 3 goals and 4 assists. Lindholm, 2 goals and 5 assists. So Hampus has had an excellent start to the season. Comtois, 2 goals and 4 assists. He's still a story. Henrique, 3 goals and 2 assists. Ryan Kessler, 3 goals and an assist. Street is still on the board with 2 goals and 2 assists. Raquel and Cogliano, a goal and 3 assists each. Cogliano, that's fine. Raquel, we expect a little more. On the Vegas side of things, Marchessault, 4 goals and 4 assists. William Karlsson, a goal and 6 assists. This is when he needs to start scoring. Smith, 2 goals and 2 assists for Riley. 3 goals for Cody Eakin. Max Pacioretty, 1 goal. Haula, 1 goal. Noshik, 1 goal. Belmar, 1 goal. Of the 4, it's acceptable that Noshik and Belmar have 1 point through the first 7 games. It is less acceptable that Haula does, and it is really not acceptable at all that Pacioretty does. So Pacioretty needs to get his game back together offensively. And Vegas needs to have a big game tonight against a team that's looked pretty darn good early in the season. Special teams, Anaheim's killing it there with their power play at 27.8%. Their penalty kill at 81.8%. On the Vegas side of things, their penalty power play 5.3%. But it did score in the last game, so that's something. And their penalty kill is at 81%. So both numbers are lower than Anaheim's. The power play significantly lower. No confirmation on the goalies yet. Ryan Miller, 1.51 goals against, 946 save percentage. And Gibson, 1.89 goals against, 948 save percentage. I'm telling you, people, he's having an excellent season. Right now, if I had a vote for Vezina, he's got it. And I know there's people are going to mention other goalies. Vasilevsky's going to get mentioned. But for my money, there's no goalie who's playing better than Gibson. And it's not an insult to anybody else. It's a compliment to Gibson. Subban, 2.71 goals against, 871 save percentage. Marc-Andre Fleury, 2.71 goals against, 896 save percentage. And Fleury's numbers have been getting better. So that's good news for Vegas. This could be a low-scoring, really defensively sound game tonight. I'm kind of expecting that. And it could be a game that's dominated by... it's tough. But this game, I think the first goal is going to tell you a lot about where it's ending up. If it's really early, we could end up with a really high-scoring game. And if it's Anaheim that scores, Vegas could be in trouble. And it's funny because last year, anytime Vegas allowed the first goal, I'd be like, well, they're going to win because they allowed the first goal. Next up, St. Louis. Oh, St. Louis. You guys have a problem tonight. You're in against Toronto. And Mike Yeo has to be feeling a lot of pressure right now. He absolutely does. The team is not playing well. And they're 1-3-2. And you can't afford to slide much further. And now you're in against Toronto, who are 6-2. Now, that being said, it is early in the season. And I think a lot of people are piling on St. Louis. And I think it's early to be piling on St. Louis and just saying, they're not a playoff team. Okay, but there are other teams that had bad starts last year that ended up making the playoffs, so it happens. That being said, they need some more out of some of these players. Their scoring side of things, Braden Shen leads the way with 3 goals and 3 assists. Perron, 4 goals and an assist. Tarasenko, they need more out of him. 2 goals and 3 assists. O'Reilly, same, 5 assists from him. Steen, 2 goals and 3 assists. Maroon, 3 goals. Bozak, a goal and an assist. Parayko, a goal and an assist. And there are a number of offensive players who stand out by their absence. Or at the very least, there's some players who stand out that they're lower down on the list than we might have expected them. On the Toronto side of things, Matthews leads the way. Of course, he leads the way. 10 goals and 6 assists for him now in 8 games. That's on pace for 164 points, which is crazy. Morgan Riley. O'Reilly's up there. Riley's down here. 3 goals, 10 assists. Tavares, 6 goals, 5 assists. Marner with 4 goals and 7 assists. Kapanen, 4 goals and 4 assists for him. Marleau, a goal and 4 assists. Gardner and Hyman both have 5 assists to their name. Toronto got shut out in their last game, of course, against Pittsburgh. I think that was reflective of 2 things. One, as good as they are, that high-octane offense, Toronto's not going to have it 82 games a year. And 2, it was reflective of just how well Matt Murray played. And Pittsburgh in general played a great road game. So there's that. No confirmation on there's confirmation on the goalies with this game. I'm thinking of a different one. Allen will start tonight. He has a 3.91 goals against and an 877 save percentage, which is not great. Johnson's backing him up. Johnson has a 3.13 goals against and a 903 save percentage. On the Toronto side of things, Freddie Anderson, 2.70 goals against, 914 save percentage. He's backed up by Garrett Sparks, who has a 3.49 goals against and an 892 save percentage. Special teams, well, St. Louis is fine there. On the power play, they have 32.1%, although Toronto has 45% even. And on the penalty kill, St. Louis, 78.9%, whereas Toronto's at 81%. So basically a saw-off on the penalty kill, power play. Advantage to Toronto, but decent numbers put up by St. Louis thus far throughout the season. It's going to be an interesting game because I am waiting for Tarasenko to do more. And that's the only way I can put it, is that for him to be on pace right now for maybe 25, 30 goals, that's not going to get it done. This is a guy that looked like a future 50-goal scorer, and now it's kind of gone. And he's got to figure this out because this is a St. Louis team that was expected to do more. And on the Toronto side of things, if they can get back on track, put up a 5-spot or 6 goals against St. Louis, Pittsburgh game will be forgotten by the end of the first period. And Don Cherry can sit in Coach's Corner and talk about how amazing it is to be a Leafs fan once again. Next up. So, Chicago. Chicago's a divisive team. On one side, you've got some Chicago fans who think that they're back to being a contender. On the other, you've got people like myself who are a little more guarded in that 5 of their first 6 games went to overtime, meaning they didn't win anything in regulation, and there's something to be said for winning games in regulation. And the randomness of winning a game in overtime in a 3-on-3 situation you don't see during a regular game. And then, when shootouts get involved, I don't think, though there was no shootouts involved in the Chicago ones, but still, they're 3-1-2, which means they're 3-3. But with the overtime loss, it's tricky. So I'm still on the fence about Chicago, basically. And now they're in against Columbus, which is a good test for them. Columbus is 4-2. Columbus has looked pretty darn good. They looked pretty good to Philly the other night. And we'll see how they do at home against Chicago tonight. A Chicago team that should be mad coming off that loss to Arizona. Goalies have been confirmed, so we'll get to them in a bit. We'll start with scorers. DeBrincat, 6 goals and 4 assists for him. Taves, 5 goals and 5 assists. Kane with 5 goals and 3 assists. Yoki Haru, 5 assists for him. He's cooled off scoring-wise. He's still getting a ton of ice time. The scoring will pick up again. Schmaltz, 4 assists for him. Cahoon, 1 goal, 3 assists. Gustafsson, a goal and 3 assists. And Duncan Keith with 4 assists as well. On the Columbus side of things, Panarin, 3 goals and 6 assists. Atkinson, 4 goals and 2 assists. Foligno, 3 goals and 2 assists. Anderson with 4 goals. Duclair, coming off that beautiful goal. He's got 2 goals and 2 assists now. Nudavara, 4 assists. And Dubois, 1 goal and 2 assists. Goaltenders. Crawford starting, of course. His goals against is 3. His save percentage is .900. And he is the savior of the Blackhawks right now. If you go with all that hype. And I get the hype, I do. But Bobrovsky, 4.04 goals against, 875 save percentage. One of those numbers is too high. The other number is too low. And Bobrovsky is going to look to fix that. And he's got a Chicago team coming in that did struggle to get really prime scoring opportunities against Arizona. So again, with the way that there's so much parity in the league right now, it's almost impossible to call this. And if you look at special teams, that doesn't tell us anything either. Chicago's plugging along at 10% on the power play. Columbus, 16%, which is basically a torrid scoring pace for Columbus compared to last year's power play. Penalty kill, Chicago's at 64.7%, and Columbus at 68.4%. So both of them are lacking when it comes to penalty kill, but they're both struggling on their power plays. It's the very resistible force against the extremely movable object is basically what's happening in this one when it comes to special teams, and your guess is as good as mine. This is one of those games I look at and I go, you pick them. I really don't have a clue on who's going to win that one. Tampa's 4-1. Minnesota's 3-2-2. Minnesota's either an above 500 team that's playing better than people give them credit for, or with those 2 overtime losses, they're a below 500 team that's underachieved so far this season. You guys can make up your own mind about which one's closer to reality. And now they got Tampa coming in. Braden Point leads them in scoring with 4 goals and an assist. Tyler Johnson, 3 goals and 2 assists. Yanni Gourde, 2 goals and 3 assists. Miller, a goal and 3 assists. He's tied with Kucherov. Kucherov, of course, we're waiting for a really big breakout from him. Sergachev with 3 assists. Palat with 3 assists. Killorn with 2 goals. And conspicuous by his absence is Stamkos, but I think Stamkos will pick it up. On the Minnesota side of things, Parise, 2 goals and 6 assists, or 2 goals, 7 assists, 9 points for him now in 7 games, and Suter with 2 goals and 5 assists. So early in the season, the guys with the huge contracts are living up to them. Zucker with 3 goals and 3 assists, Stahl 2 goals and 3 assists, Granlund 2 goals and 3 assists, Dumba 3 goals and an assist for him, Mikko Koivu, a goal and 3 assists, and then Jared Spurgeon with a goal and 2 assists to round out the scoring for the Minnesota Wild. In net, there's been no confirmation yet. Stalock's likely, though. On the Tampa Bay side of things, Louis Domingue, 2.00 goals against, 950 save percentage. Vasilevsky, 1.48 goals against, 954 save percentage. As I stated earlier, I would imagine if we did Vezina voting right now, it would be between Gibson and Vasilevsky. There is no wrong answer to this, really. Stalock, 3.11 goals against, 889 save percentage. Devin Dubnyk, 2.11 goals against, 944 save percentage. Special teams, Tampa, 25% on the power play. Still 100% on the penalty kill. And the power play for Minnesota's running along at a 15% clip. 82.8% penalty kill, which means that they'll probably get a power play goal against Tampa because things tend to even out. And when you see a team that's got this fantastic power play and a team that's got for their penalty kill, you'll see the numbers even out a lot during the season. And this is one of those games where that could happen. I could see Minnesota going 1-for-4 on the power play, Tampa going 0-for-3, something like that, and then your numbers even out quite a bit. It's not a trap game, so I'm not going to put up an Akbar. I also don't have a lot of room for Akbars, so there's really not a whole lot that I can do with that. But Minnesota's deceptively good. They really are. My only complaint last night with the Dallas game was that, Dallas is at home. That was an advantage for them last year, and if they're going to lose that advantage this year, with a game against Minnesota, a division rival that you need to win, it could be a very long season for Dallas fans, and it looks like it could very well be a very long season for Dallas fans. But that's beside the point. Let's move on to the underdogs. The underdogs, who so far look pretty good. Montreal 4-1-1. Ottawa 3-2-1. I think both of them have overachieved to this point, and I don't think people will get mad at me for saying that, but they probably will. Tatar 3 goals and 5 assists. That's high. That's on pace for 100 points. That's probably going to come down. There's a lot of guys on pace for 100 points that it'll probably come down. Gallagher 4 goals and an assist. Byron 3 goals and 2 assists. Domi a goal and 4 assists. And of course, his dad said, "Oh, it's nice to see him finally in a hockey market." Everybody loses their minds, but it's Ty Domi. Of course, he's going to say that. I think Domi would have been happier if Max had gone to Toronto, but I think going to Montreal is perfectly fine for him as well. Petrie 5 assists. Drouin 2 goals and 2 assists. Arturi Lehkonen a goal and 3 assists, and Hudon has 2 goals and an assist for Montreal. On the Ottawa side of things, Tierney has been a revelation, 2 goals and 6 assists. Chabot, two goals and 6 assists. Lajoie, who has never scored at any level like he is right now for Ottawa, 4 goals and 3 assists. Tkachuk, who of course is out for a month now, 3 goals and 3 assists. Duchesne, 6 assists for him. So 6 points in 6 games, none of them goals. If he can start scoring goals, that'd be nice, especially while Tkachuk's out. Smith, 2 goals and 3 assists. DeMello, who has also been fantastic for them, a goal and 4 assists. And Bodker, who's been actually pretty good too. So there's a lot of San Jose in this top 8. Goal and 4 assists there. Goaltenders. Price is likely. And Anderson is confirmed. Anderson, of course, with a 3.02 goals against, 925 save percentage. Facing a ton of shots and playing well. Condon's is backup. Condon at 5.02 goals against per game and 828 save percentage. Carey Price, 2.24 goals against average and a 912 save percentage. Niemi, 2.88 goals against, 893 save percentage. And if you look at the special teams, that favors Ottawa. Montreal, 15.4% on the power play. Ottawa, 27.8% on the power play. Penalty kill, Montreal at 72.2%. Ottawa at 78.3%. So Montreal wants to keep this game at 5-on-5 and wear down the Ottawa Senators without taking any penalties along the way. Again, this is a game between two teams that we didn't expect to be here. If Ottawa wins this one in regulation, they will have equal records of 4-2-1. And they'll have got here in very different fashions. But, it's early in the season. And I understand the excitement in both cities. And right now, all the Canadian teams are above 500. And I can't remember the last time I saw that every team that's Canadian has an above 500 record. It's kind of an impressive thing. Even though there's only like a handful of teams that are below 500, there was still always a way for one of them to be a Canadian team. I'm looking at Edmonton when I say that. But anyway, it's kind of impressive to see how well Canadian teams have got off to good starts so far. And I don't know how long it'll last. But here's the thing. While I may not be a Montreal fan, hockey's always more interesting when the Montreal Canadiens are a good team. So, there's that. Next up. Oh, boy. Detroit's 0-5-2. Florida's 1-2-2 after the shootout win last night. 6-5 shootout win over Washington. I don't know if they got anything left. And I don't know who you throw in net. Hutchinson's likely to go in net for Florida, but does it matter? Does it really matter? Anyways, scoring. Larkin Larkin has 3 goals and 2 assists. Bertuzzi 2 goals and 3 assists. Nyquist with 5 assists. Jensen and Athanasiou have 2 goals and an assist. Cholowski, Mantha, Hronek are among numerous players with a goal and 2 assists. On the Florida side of things, Trocheck 2 goals and 5 assists. Dadonov with 3 goals and 3 assists. Huberdeau with 2 goals and 3 assists. Barkov 2 goals and 2 assists. Hoffman and McCann both have a goal and 2 assists. And Malgin with 3 assists for them. So, Florida, I want to say, oh, well, now they've got that first win. They got to feel good. But they're at home. They've only got one win on the season. And Detroit, come on, Detroit. You can't be winless your first 8 of the season, right? We're not going to get into an Arizona situation here, right? You combine their record now this season with about the last 20 games of last year, it's abysmal. And it seems to be getting progressively worse. On the goaltending side of things for Detroit, you've got Bernier to 5.07 goals against and an .833 save percentage. Not great. Howard, 3.57 goals against, .893 save percentage. Played well against Tampa, but those are still below average numbers. On the Florida side of things, of course, Luongo is still injured, so his numbers don't really matter. Reimer, 4.27 goals against and an .867 save percentage. Hutchinson, 3.73 goals against average and an .838 save percentage. This is just overall a cornucopia of scary numbers. And I don't know if this means that we're going to have a really high-scoring game or if it's going to be scoreless going into overtime, if we're not going to see a goal until the shootout. Is this going to be one of those games where both teams are so scared of losing they don't go for the win? Now, I will say in Detroit's defense that they've played well. They haven't had the results, but they've played pretty well. They've had a pretty good start to the season when you look at their amount of play, and their competition level is high. So I don't want to look at their record and just pile on. And it's easy to look at Detroit's win-loss record and say, oh, well, they're playing like crap. They've had bad games. Goals against will tell you they've had bad games. The games against both Montreal and Boston being good examples, but they've had some good games there. They just haven't had the result to show for it. And now they're in against Florida, a team that's, again, been in there and around, and their one win was via shootout, so how good are they? And this is a battle to decide, can Detroit potentially, and this is just potentially, dig their way out of that number 31 spot on my power rankings. They're at the bottom. And for Florida, they're not far above it. So this is an important game for that, I guess. And if Florida wants to show that my hype for them preseason, it might be, maybe it's me. Like last year it was Carolina that I said, yeah, the Carolina should make the playoffs, and they just fell apart. And now this year it looks like it could happen with Florida too. So maybe I should just stop picking teams and going, that's a team that should, yeah, it's on me. So that's not fun. Last but not least, we have Nashville. The Predators are in against the Edmonton Oilers. The Preds coming off of a win against Calgary. They look good. Calgary looked good too, but Nashville was just that much better. No confirmation on goalies yet. I think Talbot's going to get ridden into the ground for Montreal, or for Edmonton personally. I think Talbot's going to play so many games this year. I could see 70 for Talbot. But anyways, Nashville is 6-1. Edmonton's 3-2. On the Nashville side of things for scoring, Forsberg 5 goals and 3 assists. Johansson 2 goals and 5 assists. Turris with a goal and 5 assists. Arvidsson 3 goals and 2 assists. Ekholm 2 goals and 3 assists for him. Subban a goal and 4 assists. Ellis with 5 assists. And Craig Smith with 3 goals and an assist. On the Edmonton side of things, McDavid 4 goals and 7 assists. He has 11 points out of the 13 goals now for Edmonton. Nugent Hopkins 2 goals and 5 assists. Draisaitl 2 goals and 4 assists. Nurse with a goal and 2 assists. Ratty and Lucic both have a goal and an assist. They need to start getting more out of Lucic. We're already at that stage. Clefbaum with 2 assists, and noteworthy that Puljujarvi has 1 goal and no assists. So 1 point for him. 1 point for Yamamoto as well. Yamamoto's going to get more of a leash because he's still a rookie. No confirmation of goaltenders. I'm thinking Saros for Nashville. Rene, of course, got pulled out last night for what looked like a concussion. Just didn't look bad, but they don't really have to look bad. It just be one of those things where it just happens during the game, right? So Saros with a 2.23 goals against and a .917 save percentage. Rene at this stage 2.10 goals against, .929 save percentage. On the Edmonton side of things, Talbot's the only one that's seen the net. He has a 2.81 goals against and a .902 save percentage. Special teams. Nashville, 13% on the power play, which is better than the 10% they were sporting before they went into that game with Calgary. Edmonton, 35.7% on the power play, which is insane. Nashville on the penalty kill, 72.2% on the penalty kill, compared to Edmonton's 71.4%. So Edmonton needs to get the penalty kill in line, but at least their power play's been running along pretty well, even at home. Shh, don't tell. Their power play at home last year wasn't good. If their power play at home this year is good, it's going to equal more points, and I think Edmonton could surprise some people. And if they win tonight and go to 4-2, and if they especially beat Nashville on a national stage like that, I think Edmonton very well could be in a playoff position for a while. And I'm not going to make any wild predictions, even though we've had a number of games played already. I'm not going to make any wild predictions on who I think's okay. Now they're a playoff team or they're not, because there's so much hockey left to play. But it's been a ton of fun so far. Let me know who you think's going to win, who you think won't, that kind of thing. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you're browsing your way through. You just happened upon this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll talk to you again soon.